G'day, welcome to Matt's Workshop. Today I'm going to just work on showing you the improvements I've made to a budget table saw. Now this table saw cost me about 230 Australian dollars back in September 2015, and I've used it with all the features in place, but slowly they've come off. Side tables have come off because they're a little bit too flimsy. The miter gauge, well, I used it a couple of times and tossed it into the corner because it flopped around in the slot and wasn't accurate, and found it quite hard and unsafe to use. So this has prompted me to upgrade the table saw as my woodworking skills are slowly improving. I'm no longer a beginner, but I'm definitely nowhere near a professional. So what I've done is I've removed the side tables because they were just far too flimsy and weren't actually holding the worker very securely. The miter gauge flopped around in the miter slot and wasn't very accurate. I've still got to make a new miter gauge, but the main reason I used that was for pushing, cutting small timbers, so I've made a sled for that, which I'll show you in a minute. The rip fence was quite short, and if you wanted to rip on the other side of the blade you had to completely change this all around. I don't rip on the opposite side of the blade, but I did find that I didn't have enough length from the centre, so if this blade's about here, then the maximum I could do is about 200 mil. The stand, extremely flimsy. I found that when I was pushing timber through, the whole thing would flex, which is why this is now bent, because I used to put my foot on top of that to keep the thing sturdy. Let's have a look at what I've done. This is the table saw mounted in on my new bench that I've made. Now the tabletop is a piece of yellow tongue that I've bought down at the local hardware store using a jigsaw. I've cut out the recess for the table saw to fit into, and then secured it underneath, making sure that it's flush with the top. This piece here, I've used a router to route a slot for my rip fence to slide along, and then when I've set the desired width that I want for my cut, I then just use the wing nut to lock it into place. This is the new table sled that I've made for cross cutting. I've got pieces milled on the bottom that fit into the miter slots, and they're being trimmed so that when it reaches the end of travel in the miter slots, it stops at the end of the cut. So when I push it completely forward, it stops, and that is the end of the cut right there. So I've also added a blade guard so that I keep my fingers attached to my hands. So I'm just going to raise the blade to the maximum height that it will go, and then as you'll see, when I push the sled completely forward, the blade does not be exposed out the back, and therefore, like I said, I keep my fingers attached, and I'm extremely happy about that. A couple of extra features: these slots help with the sled to slide into, so that is important. I could have made the top bench a little bit lower, but decided it was easier just to cut those out and keep everything nice and square. Extra feature now that I've got no legs is I can actually put this waste bin underneath. I made that bin and I put it on caster wheels to nicely fit under the table saw and collect all the dust. I used to find that it used to just pile up underneath, so this way most of it can be kept in here and tied up and disposed of nice and easily. The table saw is 1800 millimeters long, 900 millimeters wide. It's made of yellow tongue, as I mentioned before, and I've left this tongue on the back edge, and I'll probably make an extension table at a later date to click in there nicely. So while I was setting up the table saw, I made sure that the bench was level with the tabletop. I've also made sure that while setting it up, that the blade was nice and square, and that it was square to the front fence as well. When mounting the front slide that the rip fence attaches to, I've had to make sure that it's nicely square with the blade, otherwise my cut's going to be completely out. So that was a little bit of adjustment, but is now nicely square. Makes it nice and easy when I move the thing across. made sure that the fence that I built was square with it, and then attached it at the final stage to make sure that it remained square. So thanks for visiting Matt's workshop. This wasn't really a build video, but it was just a video about something that I built to improve on my table saw. So I've improved the table saw and the table saw sled, the cross-cut sled, the rip fence, and definitely a good little feature is keeping the workshop tidy by collecting that dust underneath. Definitely a big improvement, and I hope you've got some ideas out of this to incorporate into your own woodworking with your table saw. If you like the video, don't forget to give me lots of likes. Please subscribe for more videos coming soon, a new workshop update, as well as the project that I mentioned about building something out of the pile of pallets. Now, I've had some great ideas, and I'll share those with you very soon. Stay tuned, please subscribe.